Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 8 is an amazing chapter, and Ikimoto and Kijimoto have cooked yet again. I've been saying this almost every chapter, and for the last chapter of the volume, we knew that this chapter was going to be crazy, and it did just that, as this might have become one of my favorite chapters that has come out so far. So let's jump right into the video, and we all start off with the amazing reveal of Boruto being the face of the V-Jump magazine. We see a beautiful pose from Boruto, and I love what Ikimoto did there. With the past cover, I won't lie, Kawaki being in the background was kind of a miss, but I really love this cover that Ikimoto made. There is no problem with the cover, it's a 10 out of 10, no flaws. And this is the same thing that we see for this cover, as although Jura doesn't have a fighting pose, I just love all of the new information that is given straight off this cover. We have a beautiful background that gives off this dark vibe that the whole chapter seems to be in, and we have Jura who has the Renegon, and we have its color, which to me seems blue, but I could understand if people said that it was purple. I'm not 100% convinced at the moment, but I really love what we see right here. Jura's full design has been confirmed. He has this humanistic tone that has a light shade of green to it. This must be due to him kind of being a tree in some sense, due to the creation and the new updates that the Ten Tails has had due to Code mixing his chakra with the Ten Tails. I really like the design, and I'm not sure if all of them will have the same color for their cape. Maybe someone is going to have a green cape and somebody else has a red cape, purple, and so on and so forth. Maybe all of them have a green cape, but I do like the addition of the colors inside. At first, I thought it would be red or purple, but I do like the lime green that he currently has on. And the chapter starts with Ida, who is viewing the fight between Mitsuki and Boruto, and she goes to this iconic moment of Boruto saying, "I am your son, and to come to me whenever you are ready." And they have some text that hints at Ida slowly becoming fond of Boruto, and maybe she made the wrong decision in choosing Kawaki, as Boruto, just look at him, he looks to perfection, he looks immaculate. If I was a girl, I would be picking Boruto too, so I can't even blame you. Ida herself acknowledges that recently Boruto has been that guy. Boruto has just been that cool, calm, and collected MC, and Kawaki is nowhere near his level. We have Kawaki and Delta. I really love the inclusion and this duo of Kawaki and Delta, who are mainly doing the dirty work out here, going to fight the strong opponents. As we know that Kawaki woke up from getting knocked out in the last chapter, and now he is ready to go and confront Boruto, and he asks Ida to go and tell Kawaki where exactly Boruto is. Delta complains to Kawaki about the manner in which she is talking to Ida, but we all know this is the classic Kawaki, man. Kawaki doesn't really care. His main goal is to get rid of Boruto and get rid of these other Otsutsuki's. Then after, you guys can do whatever you want, kill me, but my goal would have already been completed and Naruto would have been safe, which is a valid point, and I don't disagree with anything he has to do when it comes to his goals, but he just doesn't live up to the hype and doesn't live up to the amount of power that would be necessary for him to actually be able to accomplish his goals. We see Delta and Kawaki go off to go and find Boruto. Then we see a Cloudgram that is lurking around the village, which is where we have Boruto, who explains to Shikamaru everything he knows about the Shinshu. She tells Shikamaru that the Sensu have started to awaken their own self-awareness, and this is all due to everything that Code has done. But their goal still remains the same. If Boruto is eaten, then he will turn into a divine tree, and then it will mean the end for the planet, as it would go into the process of creating a chakra fruit. So if Boruto or Kawaki get eaten, it is endgame. And this is especially worrying with what we saw Jura do to Kawaki in this chapter. But we continue with Ino, who worries about all the information that is given, and Shikamaru asks this important question: Boruto, how do you know so much? We know that Boruto wasn't out there as a scientist observing everything that was happening with Code when he was splitting the Ten Tails into the Clawgrabs. We know that this didn't happen, so how does Boruto know? And this hints back at two things. Some people who believe that Boruto went back to the past and learned everything about the Ten Tails, or it hints at an ability that we have already seen Boruto use, and that ability is when Boruto literally used Momoshiki's powers and was able to see the future. So you guys let me know which one you believe. I believe that it is simply Boruto using Momoshiki Shinjutsu, allowing him to see the future. But what do you guys think? Do you think Boruto went back to the past? But we continue on with the chapter, with Shikamaru learning that Kawaki is going to go and face Boruto. And Boruto finding out about this piece of information causes Boruto to be like, yo, we're not going to have this fight right now. I have better things to worry about. I'm out and we'll talk later. That's the type of vibe that Boruto gives off. And Delta and Shikamaru realize that, and they're like, yo, Boruto is no longer here. This causes Kawaki to be a little suspicious of Shikamaru, because it is as soon as Kawaki went to go talk to Shikamaru and tell him about everything that is going on, that Boruto magically disappears. And we have Kawaki who is starting to not trust Shikamaru anymore. And I believe that this will lead to Shikamaru getting killed by Kawaki. And this may be one of the various things that Kawaki does that causes Boruto to be like, did you really have to go this far? And for Kawaki, he simply had to, as we see an ominous Kawaki looking at what is to be him imagining Shikamaru, and he is not happy at all. And now we go to Mitsuki, who makes his appearance in the chapter with a conversation that he has with Ida. And this conversation reveals how much Mitsuki's character has grown in the chapters that we have already seen. Kishimoto is building a great character in Mitsuki, as we are slowly starting to see Mitsuki maybe even potentially remove the equation of having a son, and realizing, just like Boruto said, that he can shine on his own. And this is what we're currently seeing, as in their conversation, Mitsuki points out how Ada and him are in a similar situation. Mitsuki is not sure who is his son due to the omnipotence and everything that is going on. He is not sure if the feelings that he is feeling towards Kawaki is true or not. While Ida is in a similar boat because of her omnipotence and charm ability that causes everybody to love her except from Otsutsuki's and sibling relatives. Obviously, she's not going to go for Damien, which leaves Kawaki and Boruto. So maybe due to her circumstances, the love that she has for Kawaki is not true, because she is clinging on to the idea of love which she seems to not be able to get due to her ability. So because of her dire deed, she clings to Kawaki, who serves as the only person that she could love, not because she truly loves Kawaki. And through her responses, it seems like this could be the case, but she herself doesn't know, and says that she won't attempt to explain what love is due to it simply being an emotion. And I really love this conversation that we are seeing right here. Mitsuki is not who we expect to be a Kawaki-like figure in the story, but his conversations and his development so far has been peak, because we have already started to see how Mitsuki is growing from chapter 1 to chapter 6 and 7, and now in chapter 8, as we are seeing Mitsuki end off a cycle to his character development, and now he is embarking on a new one. It is during this conversation that Ida is like, yo, I might need to have a conversation with Boruto. And then we go back to that same clockgram that was around the village, with Jura who is saying soon, huh? Okay, he is now planning on going to Konoha. We see him in an elegant pose, lean back towards the cube that was around him and use the clockgram as a way to get to the village. Hidari does the same and gets to Konoha village through that same clockgram. They have an epic entrance into the village where we see the gates, and Jura and Hidari make their way into the village, not looking for the people they want to devour, but looking for Naruto Uzumaki so that they could find the answers to some of the questions that they currently have. Shikamaru is alerted by Jura and Hidari's appearance into the village by Ida, who tells her that the Tentales has basically arrived at the village. While verifying their chakra signal, they realize that one is negative, meaning that this chakra is unrecognizable and has never been registered in the village. But the other one is Sasuke Uchiha, which is where we have Sarada herself confuse that chakra signal for her dad. But it is not her dad, it is Hidari, who comes here looking for Naruto Uzumaki. We see some random shinobi telling Hidari and Jura that if they continue down this path, they are going to be considered as enemies. But Jura doesn't look at them, he continues to walk, and then we see all of them die. all the Leaf police force that were talking to Jura, they died without Jura even looking at them as he continued down his path. We go back to the scene that was leaked prior and we go to the old bookstore that Jura and Hidari make their way in. They are looking for Naruto, but Naruto doesn't appear there and we see nobody there, which is most likely due to the fact of the emergency that Code's invasion caused throughout the village. Whenever there is an invasion, the first thing that the Leaf police does is make sure that everybody goes into hiding and then they counterattack, and it seems like everybody is in hiding due to that moment that occurred a couple chapters ago. It is after they start leaving that bookstore that Kawaki makes his attack, using his shrinking ability and throwing out Ishiki's rods. We have Kawaki land an attack on Hidari. However, if you pay close attention, you would realize that this isn't too much of a feat for Kawaki. And while the Kawaki fans might go there saying, hold on, Kawaki made a hit on Hidari, who seems to be this great villain, it means that Kawaki is really in the same stage as Boruto. They're really an equal match. This is not the case because we can clearly see that Hidari not only reacted to this attack, but he even blocked it. And this is quite visible when you see that Hidari doesn't fall and he easily restabilizes his balance. So this really isn't too much of a feat, apart from the fact that Kawaki wasn't able to catch Hidari off guard, which just upscales Hidari a little bit more. Jura tells Kawaki that he shouldn't fight near the bookstore as it is some sort of treasure, and then he places Kawaki in some sort of tree. Kawaki uses his Sukuna Hikonen to go away from Jura's attack, which causes Jura to destroy that tree that he has started to grow. This shows some of the Ten-Tails abilities. You know that the White Zetsus and the Ten-Tails was able to use various styles of wood style, so it is no surprise that Jura is also able to use wood style and create these various trees and even trap Kawaki and force him to use Sukuna Hikonen. Kawaki uses his karma and then proceeds to try and attack Jura from the back. And Jura literally punches Kawaki's hand and makes it explode. And then he hits Kawaki and tells him that he is not going to kill him just yet. So at the current moment, Jura had the perfect opportunity to literally end the planet as we know it, but he didn't want to do so. And this could be of two various things. Either they're only focused on devouring people that are not Otsukis so that they themselves don't turn into a chakra fruit and then cease existing, or it is that they are not interested in Kawaki for the moment, and then after getting the information they want from Naruto, they will go and eventually use Kawaki to turn into chakra fruits. I don't know what the answer is as of right now, but the one thing that I know for sure is as of the current moment, their main interest is not creating a chakra fruit, as Jura could have easily turned Kawaki into a chakra fruit if you wanted to at that current moment. Kawaki hits a tank and then Delta comes to help him out. If you guys have played close attention to Delta in this chapter, she has not had to use any of her rockets that we used to see her use to fly. Whenever Delta flies in this chapter, she literally flies like an Otsutsuki, like Kawaki, and some people have theorized that maybe Delta has received the karma. But I don't think that's the case, because after Amado joins the village, he creates another Delta, and that Delta doesn't have the same personality to me at least. She seems a lot calmer than the other Delta that we used to have, but she is able to fly, and she is able to also damage Code, and we can see that she is a lot stronger. So the Delta that you're currently seeing right now is Delta 2.0, a Delta that has been updated, which could be why she seems a lot stronger and is able to fly in a different manner. But then we have a wide angle space of Jura, who is flying in the air and seems to have found Naruto Uzumaki. Jura decides to make his way there with Hidari, who poses the question to Jura of whether he is sure that this is Naruto, and then Jura says that he is a Jinchuriki possessing a tail beast. As an incarnation of the same tail beast, I know what I am talking about. I can sense the chakra of the tail beast within him. This tells us two things, and we'll discuss the other thing that it tells us when we get to the next few pages. But the first thing that I would like to discuss is that he calls himself an incarnation of the same tail beast. which would mean that Jura is an incarnation of the Ten Tails, so he is the embodiment of the Ten Tails, and alongside possessing some of Ishiki's DNA, which is why he is able to fly and seems immune to Ida's ability because he has Otsutsuki-like DNA or Otsutsuki-like genetics, and would also mean that we have cracked Jura's identity. Jura is an incarnation of the Ten Tails. But this is also quite interesting when we come back to find who exactly Jura is talking about. We have Sarada, who has detected that Sasuke is in the village, exactly what Boruto was saying. The Ten Tails, my master, was absorbed by it. So now she goes back to think about Sasuke coming into the village, and then she comes to conclude that the thing that is coming is a different version of Sasuke. And then we see Team 10 running to the aid, and we see Hima in that group. Everybody is saying, yo, don't worry, if it's Sasuke, you still have to fight, and Inogen is telling Hima that he will protect her. However, Jura makes his way in an epic fashion as he casually lands on Team 10. We see a beautiful panel of Jura and Hidari, and then we see Hima in her presence. And then we have Hidari who says, who's that? Naruto Uzumaki is here. And Jura says, weird, her body, what does that mean? And this is the side text that we are given. Chasing after the Tails Beast chakra, Hima stands before them. Can she intercept the divine tree? This is very interesting, which means that the chakra that Jura was sensing that he calls Tails Beast chakra is actually coming from Hima. And it also explains everything that we have seen about Hima's hidden powers, as Jura says that the Tails Beast chakra that he is sensing is the same to his, which then would mean that the Tails Beast chakra may not be from Kurama, but just from the Ten Tails himself, which would definitely put Hima as one of the strongest characters that we have currently seen. And this is where the chapter ends off. Hima is going to confront Jura. I don't know if she already knows how to use some of her hidden powers, but we will definitely learn more information about Hima's Tails Beast powers. We see that she has whiskers just like Naruto, and Boruto also has whiskers. We're going to explain all of that in a completely different video, but all of this makes perfect sense. And I really like what Kijimoto is doing right here. The focus is not only on Boruto, the focus is on every single side character that Kijimoto has decided to pick. And we can currently see that that includes Team 10, Hima, Kawaki, Sarada, Mitsuki, Ida, Damon, Amato, Shikamaru. All these characters are going to be explained and play a vital part in the series, as these are the characters that Kijimoto and Ikimoto have picked to cook on. And what we're seeing right now is a focus shifting from what it seemed to be Mitsuki to now Hima, as we find out information about her hidden powers. And this just brings me back to why I call this chapter a 10 out of 10, as it delivers in each aspect that we wanted, in both character development and new action that we are currently receiving. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This chapter is a 10 out of 10 to me. What is your rating? Let me know in the comments. It's been your boy Dynasty in the building, and I'm out, bruh.